Over the past year, I've created 2 separate videos teaching you how to maximize the income you're generating from your self-publishing business. One dealt with Amazon advertising, while the other focused on 3 methods to promote your self-published books outside the Amazon marketplace. And in that video, I touched on 10 things that you could do to promote your books using little to no money. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 strategies that will not only help you get more book sales from your off-Amazon promotions, but will also help you generate entirely new income streams using the exact same content that you use to create your books with. So if you're looking to take your self-publishing business to the next level, then stick around. Hey guys, Greg here. Hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so before I get into the 3 strategies, I just want to go over something. Now, I've always been open about the fact that I've never thought it was a good idea to put all of your time and effort into just one single income stream. In fact, I think it's probably one of the worst things that you can do as an entrepreneur. When it comes to business, any business, there are 2 things that you need to remember. The first is that the only thing that remains constant in business is change. And the second thing you need to remember is that shit happens and things don't always go your way, which is precisely why you need to diversify your income. Now, these concepts are something that most professional artists are very well acquainted with, and as a result, they tend to run their art businesses keeping these things in mind. But whether you're creating your content for your self-published books yourself, or you're licensing artwork from a third party like Fabrica, you still need to operate your business the same way that an artist would. And that's where the 3 strategies come into play. 3 things that professional artists tend to be very good at are 1. Building a following, 2. Knowing how to present their artwork to the public, and 3. Utilizing their artwork for maximum profit. Whether you're creating all of your content yourself or you're licensing it from a third party, you need to be running your business the same way artists do. And with marketplaces like Amazon being bombarded by thousands of AI-generated books on a daily basis, utilizing the 3 strategies that I'm about to show you is going to be more important than ever if you want to stay relevant. So regardless of what your creative skill level is, it's time to start thinking like an artist. Okay, so the first strategy is a free one, and it's designed to replace expensive advertising with free lead generation. And the first strategy is to build a loyal audience using free content. Now, the things that I'm about to show you with a little imagination can pretty much be applied to any niche. But for the sake of simplifying this video, I'm just going to focus on one example, and that's children's activity books. Regardless of what type of product you're selling, there are basically 2 ways to get sales. The first is by placing ads, and the second is by using something called content marketing. Content marketing just basically refers to the process of building a potential customer base using free content. And this is something that all successful artists tend to do very well. As an example, take a look at Joanna Basford. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with her work, she's an extremely successful adult coloring book illustrator. And based solely on the number of books she's published, along with her average BSR on Amazon, I would estimate that she sells somewhere around 10,000 books per month just on Amazon alone. And if you look at her Instagram account, you can see that she's constantly posting free content. Some of her posts are just free tips for coloring her drawings, while other posts are free downloadable coloring pages. And these types of free giveaways are great for getting the email addresses of potential customers. And all you have to do is set up a landing page using some type of email marketing service like MailChimp. And then just let your audience know that if they want free coloring pages every month, all they have to do is sign up to your newsletter. MailChimp will collect all of the email addresses and then send out all of the downloads on its own. Once it's set up, it pretty much runs itself. But the great thing is that in addition to sending them free downloads every month, you can also promote your new books to them via email. Your chances of making a sale that way are far better than through the Amazon search results. You can also hold contests and then showcase the winners on your social media sites. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about coloring. If you're selling activity books, then any simple activity for kids will do. These types of posts can be extremely popular with parents and can bring in thousands of views to your social media page each month. And then once you start building up a following, every 9 or 10 posts, you just promote one of your activity books. Your audience are far more likely to buy one of your books if they like the free content that you offer throughout the year. And you can do this on pretty much any social media site. Just use the one that you're most comfortable with. And if you can reuse your posts on multiple social media sites, that's even better. If you're someone who sells prayer journals, post an inspirational quote from the Bible every day. If you sell crossword puzzles, post a daily clue that your audience have to answer in the comments section of your post. This will create engagement. And if you post really difficult clues that your audience find challenging, then when you do eventually promote your book, the odds of you turning some of your audience into customers is going to be pretty good. And those who buy your book from your social media sites are far more likely to leave good reviews on Amazon. And they're also far more likely to be repeat customers for your future books. That's the whole point of building a loyal audience. And as I said earlier, with a little imagination, you can apply this to pretty much any niche. Just think of something that you could give to your audience that they would benefit from and that didn't cost you anything but your time to create. Do this consistently for a few months and you'll be amazed at how big of an audience you can actually create. Okay, on to strategy number 2. Now the second strategy is to use professional mock-ups to entice your customers. Now another thing that professional artists are really good at is knowing how to present their products to their potential customers. Have you ever noticed how high-end realtors tend to stage their listings with furniture, even when the house is vacant? It's because when clients are looking at an empty house, it's very difficult for them to imagine what it would be like to actually live in. But once you fill the house with furniture, it becomes a lot easier to visualize. Well, the same thing holds true for all products, including books. There's a reason why Amazon added A+ content to their product pages. Trying to convince a customer to buy a book based solely on a picture of the cover is a really hard sell. And that's why when you're promoting your books outside of the Amazon marketplace, you need to help your potential customer to visualize owning your book. And the best way to do that is by using a professional mock-up. Now I use a website called Placeit for all of my mock-ups. And this is actually a really cool website because you can mock up pretty much any product on this site. And for around $10 per month, there's no limit as to how many mock-ups you can create. Now because it's a product that I use often, I'm also affiliated with them. So if you want to check this site out, just know that I have a link to it in the description section of this video. I think what makes Placeit so useful is the fact that it doesn't require any graphic design skills to use, or graphic design software for that matter. The software is built right into the website. All you have to do is choose the product that you want to mock up and then upload your graphic design to it. And you have so much to choose from in here. I mean, whether you're looking to mock up apparel, books, mugs, pillows, or any of a dozen other products, or if you're looking for some help to create animated YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram reels to further promote your products, Placeit has thousands of templates for you to choose from. And they're all pretty simple to use. So going back to my children's activity book example, you actually have a lot of options to choose from when it comes to book mock-ups. So let's say you want 3 separate images, one that has a child holding your book, like this one, or maybe this one, a second mock-up with a book in a childlike environment, kind of like this one, or this one here, and then a final image of just the book on a solid color or transparent background. One of these should do. All you need to do is go through and pick out the ones that you want to use by clicking on the little heart icon, and then all of these templates will be saved to your favorites folder. Make sure that the book size ratio is very similar to that of your own book. It doesn't have to be exact, but just make sure that it's at least fairly close. Once you're in your favorites folder, just click on the mockup that you want to use to load it to the editor. Now once it's loaded, you'll have the option to upload your cover image as well as change the color of the book on the spine. Once your cover image is ready, just click on the blue design button in the left-hand column and choose Upload from your device. Once it's in your editor, just scale it to fit and then click the crop button. Now on this particular mockup, you'll notice that the spine of the book is white. You can easily change that just by clicking on the book color button and then selecting a color that's closer to that of your book cover. Now all you have to do is click on the download button in the top right hand corner. The image will be placed in the downloads folder on your computer. And all of these other mockups work the exact same way. Do you want a straight on product shot in a child's environment? Done. Do you want a child interacting with your book? Easy enough. Or how about just a basic product shot? It's entirely up to you how these images will look. And once all of your images are downloaded, you can then bring them into Photoshop or Photopea and then crop them, color adjust them, and detail them to the way you want them to appear on your social media posts. And the great thing about Placeit is that it's not just about book mockups. Once you start to diversify your income streams, you're going to find that this software is going to become even more useful to you. Which brings us to our third and final strategy. And that is to utilize your existing content for upsells. Ask any professional artist and they'll tell you that every piece of artwork that they create is usually sold multiple times. Unless, of course, you're doing one-off commissions, and most artists struggle to make a living doing that. And that's why when you're creating a work of art, you always want to be thinking about how to utilize it in multiple income streams. But this doesn't just apply to artists. If you're paying a yearly subscription to commercially licensed artwork from a site like Fabrica and you're only using it to create activity books, then you're leaving a lot of extra money on the table. As I mentioned earlier in the video, making cold sales can be very difficult. It's much easier to get a return customer than it is to get a new one. If you've already sold a product to someone and they truly love it, the hard work is done. You've already convinced them that you make quality products. Getting them to buy a second product from you is going to be way easier than it was to get them to purchase the first one. And that's why when you're in the sales business, you always need to be thinking about the upsell. An upsell in the art world is simply taking something that you know your customer already likes, which is your artwork, and repurposing it in a way that will be appealing to them. Doing this allows you to get paid multiple times for the same piece of art. Let me explain. Okay, so going back to my activity book example, this book was created using artwork that was commercially licensed from Fabrica. I own the non-exclusive rights to use this artwork commercially as many times as I want, just as long as I'm abiding by Fabrica's terms of use. So if my children's activity book is selling really well, then that means that there are many children out there who love these cartoon characters. When was the last time you heard a young child say, "Oh no, mother, I only want the SpongeBob coloring book. I don't need a SpongeBob t-shirt, or backpack, or pajamas, or bed sheets, or toothbrush, or slippers, or the nightlight"? Never, because that child doesn't exist. Kids truly believe that they need to own everything that was ever created with their favorite cartoon character on it, or their life will be over. And this is why merchandising is a multi-trillion-dollar per year business. I guarantee that Marvel's merchandise makes far more money than their movies do. So you need to treat your children's activity book the same way that Disney treats their movie business. Upsell, upsell, upsell. And here's how you do it. So the first thing you want to do is figure out who your target audience is. Now in the case of my children's activity book, it's children. So you want to be thinking about products that would be appealing to a child. Now you don't have to focus exclusively on children's products, but they should be your primary focus. So as an example, let's start with apparel. What child doesn't want a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or hoodie with their favorite cartoon character on it? Now going back to my children's activity book, I have the commercial license to use these images on other print-on-demand products. So if I was to go into Adobe Illustrator and just grab 3 of these characters, arrange them in a nice tight pattern, and then place a little heart graphic in between them, being sure to tie in the pink color of the ears, and then put an ellipse underneath them all, using a nice soft blue accent color as a contrast. All I would have left to do is throw some text on the page using a custom font, and I would have a perfect little design for a child's t-shirt. When creating new designs from your pre-existing artwork, you don't have to go crazy with it, just keep it simple. Now all I have to do is export this image out as a PNG with transparency, and I'm ready to start creating some custom kids apparel. Now there are a lot of different ways that you could go about doing this, but for this video, I'm just going to focus on the ways that won't cost you any additional money. So if it's your intention to sell additional products, then you're going to need a store to sell them from. Now if you're creating all of the artwork in your activity book yourself, then you have quite a few options when it comes to free online print-on-demand stores. You could create custom apparel and sell it through Amazon Merch, Redbubble, Zazzle, or Spring, just to name a few. But the one thing that all of these platforms have in common is that they're all public marketplaces, which is a good thing if you're creating your own artwork, because it will allow you to tap into their existing customer base. But if you're using commercially licensed artwork from a site like Fabrica, then there is always going to be the possibility that some of your designs may be rejected due to another seller already selling a similar product with the exact same graphic on it. And this is why I would recommend using Spreadshop. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with them, the company that runs this platform actually have 2 separate vending options. The first is called Spreadshirt, and it's a public marketplace very similar to Redbubble, Zazzle, or Amazon. The second is a private storefront called Spreadshop. All of the traffic in this store is going to have to come from you. Now, this isn't really a problem because most of your customers will probably be coming from your social media sites anyway. But where it's really beneficial is that because there aren't any other sellers listing in your store, it doesn't matter if you're using an image that's the same as the one that someone else is using on another platform. Your store is private, so there's no other competition. Just as long as you have the commercial licensing rights to use the image from Fabrica and you're abiding by their terms of use, you can sell whatever you want in your store. And if you're interested in saving over 80% on a yearly subscription to Creative Fabrica, then be sure and check out my exclusive offers in the description section of this video. Now, this doesn't mean that you can just go and copy someone else's design from another website. Even if that person is using third-party artwork in their design, there's still an element of copyright to their design. But what it does mean is that if you happen to use a similar piece of commercially licensed artwork in your design, no other seller is going to file a complaint against you because your design is not directly competing against theirs because you're not selling in a public marketplace. And in addition to being totally free to use, the great thing about Spreadshop is that it's really simple to get started. All you have to do is head over to Spreadshop, which I have a link to in the description section of this video, and then just sign up for a free storefront. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details on how to set up your store in this video, but just know that you can have your store up and running in under an hour. The store builder is really user-friendly. All you're basically doing is turning on the features that you want in your store and then turning off the features that you don't. So for instance, if you want a product preview on your homepage, then just make sure that this is turned on. If you don't want it, then turn it off and it'll be removed. Every aspect of your store is controlled here in your shop settings. You can upload your own personal logo and banner in the appearance settings. You can set up all of your prices and promos, and you can even link all of your products to your YouTube store if you have one. It's all pretty much self-explanatory. And when it comes to creating products, simply head over to the Design tab and start uploading your designs. Once your design is uploaded, click on the little pencil icon in the middle of the graphic. Now you need to decide where you want to sell your product. You can sell in the public marketplace or the private one, or both. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to choose Spreadshop for now and click the Next button. Now all you have to do is figure out which products you want to put your design on. They give you a few options to get you started, but if you don't want any of these, just delete them by clicking on the little X. Now kids like stickers, so I'm going to keep the sticker, but to get more products, just click the All Products button. And here you'll have a selection of all the products that are available for you to sell in your store. So because we want kids products, I'm just going to scroll down to the kids section and I'm just going to grab a kids hoodie. There are so many products to choose from. You can put your designs on t-shirts, sweatshirts, bodysuits, mugs, backpacks, hats, pillows, travel mugs. You can even put it on a cute little stuffed animal. What kid's not going to love that? Once you've selected all the products that you want to put your design on, just click the Done button in the top right-hand corner. Now all you have to do is go into each product and set up the design properly. So using this hoodie as an example, all I have to do is click on the pencil icon to open the editor. The first thing that you're going to want to do is resize the design and make sure that it's centered. This one is already perfectly set up, so there's really nothing I need to do to it. Next, I can choose what colors I want my hoodie to be available in. Now, not all colors are always going to work with your design, so don't skip this part. The ones that you don't like, just turn off in the bottom row. Now, whatever hoodie color you want to appear in your store as the default, make sure that that one's selected before you click the Done button. And just know that you can put a print on the front or the back of most products, or both. It's entirely up to you. Once you have everything looking the way that you want it, just click the Done button. Most of these setups can be done very quickly. So once you've gotten them all done, just click the Next button. Now all you have to do is enter the title and description of your product, as well as any tags that you want to enter for SEO purposes. It's very similar to KDP. And when you're done, just click the Create button and the products will be added to your store. And just know that all you have to do now is promote your store as well as your individual products on your social media sites. When a customer buys something from your store, Spreadshop will take the order, print it, package it, and ship it. And they'll even take care of the sales tax. And once they've received payment from your customer, they'll pay you your commission. It's that simple. Now, when it comes to promoting your products on your social media sites, this is where Placeit comes back into play. Find yourself the cutest little girl or boy wearing a similar product to yours and upload your design to the mock-up image. Heck, you can even go one step further and find 2 cute kids to model your product. I mean, if one is good, then 2 has got to be better, right? And then just go through and do the exact same thing with all of your other products. I mean, who's going to say no to a face like that? Or these faces? Just make sure that whatever mock-up you use looks very similar to the actual product that you're selling. So if the cut or style of the t-shirt doesn't look quite right, then don't use it. The last thing you want to do is mislead your customers. And then once you've downloaded the images, you can take them into Photoshop, punch them up, and stylize them with any graphics or text that you want. When it comes to linking to your products, on some social media sites, you'll be able to link directly to the product from the post itself. On other sites where you can only put one link in the bio, your best option is just to set up a free Linktree account with all of your store links on it. If you're not entirely sure how to do that, I show you how to do it in my video 10 tips on how to promote your KDP low content books for free. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one. So just a quick recap. Strategy 1 is to build a loyal audience by giving away free content. Strategy 2 is to use professional looking mockups for all of your product shots. And strategy 3 is to reuse your artwork in as many ways as possible. The key is to always be upselling. Using these 3 strategies will not only help you to create more money by building a loyal following, but they will also help you to diversify your income streams so that you're not just relying on one single source of income. And that's crucial when trying to build a successful business. Okay, so hopefully this video has given you some ideas on how to further expand your own self-publishing empire. Now just keep in mind that I have links to all of the websites that I mentioned in this video down in the description section below. And if you want even more tips on how to build your own self-publishing business, then be sure and check out my playlist, Self-Publishing 101. It has everything you need to get your self-publishing business up and running, and you can find a link to it right here. Until next time, take care.